Peace, family. Starcrrest The G here. Give me a little short story, a little short information in continuation to the Disclosure Project. I just recently found out about a famous name in UFO history, which is called, his name is Billy Meyer. Billy Meyer was one who was visited by extraterrestrial beings, or so-called extraterrestrial beings, by the name, one of them was named Asket, the other one name was Sanjasi. I forgot the third one's name, but however, they tried to debunk his stuff and say that he was an expert model builder, things to that nature, when he had photos of UFO craft that he called beam ships. Now, the thing about Billy Meyer, about him being an expert model builder, it's possible. However, the man had only one arm. I built models back in my day, and I'm quite sure it could be done with one hand, but it's a very arduous task, hard to do. But anyway, just like the other ufologists, just like the other people in this disclosure thing, although Billy Meyer showed depictions of these Caucasian type females that he said was contactees, or contactors, excuse me, to him in his situation of UFO contact or extraterrestrial contact. He writes in his book about one who he describes to be like African, to be black. But powers that be suppress that information. Again, family, I wonder why. Now we talk about the guy Corey Good, David Wilcock, and you put them in comparison with the famous NASA scientist by the name of Mr. Bergman. Mr. Bergman says, yeah, you know, these UFO vehicles are very large. There's no way you could have basically built that on the Earth. The beings that are in the UFO vehicles are black beings. They station or ride or orbit Saturn and Jupiter, and now they're basically orbiting Uranus. He says because their ships are the ships that produce the rings around the planet, or around the planets. Now again, like I said before, when I was a child, the rings, we only knew that there were rings around Saturn. Then later on, maybe about 76 or so, 78 maybe, they start saying, oh, Saturn has rings and Jupiter has rings. Now, we definitely knew that Neptune and Uranus were ringless. Now, all of a sudden, Uranus is starting to develop rings. Dr. Bergman states that the ship's exhaust is what creates the rings around Saturn. He doesn't, or around the planets, but he doesn't specify as to why. I guess I gotta, read that book he put out called The Ring Makers of Saturn, which by the way, is a very hard book to get. Now, when we talk to these very intelligent, intellectually speaking brothers, Mr. Wilcock and Mr. Good, you listen to all their seminars and look at the audience, you see no black people in the audience. But what do they have to do with truth? I mean, they big up the Nordic race. They big up the tall whites. They big up the Palladians and say that they're white. But they're very humble when they speak about the black extraterrestrial race. They even go to crack jokes. I mean, to be honest with you, black is black. Melanation is melanation. If you want to go and you want to believe that your skin is as brown or darker than mine, and you tell me that you're not a black man, and the reason why I say black man instead of African, because originally the black man owned this whole planet. We were all over here. Don't believe that thing about slavery, like every black person that was living in America or found anywhere came out of Africa by way of slavery. Come on. We had complex cities on the African continent. Complex cities. Running water, irrigation, crop, trading. And you mean to tell me that we never said, oh, well, I think I might want to go over here to England and chill out. Or I might want to go to Spain and chill out. Or I might want to go to Russia and chill out. The fact of the matter is, if you look at all the people on the planet Earth again, their DNA is laced with the black man's DNA. even if it's a small amount. But not every black man DNA is laced with the DNA of the Caucasian, because the black man DNA is what makes up part of the Caucasian's DNA. You know the old story, original versus non-original, dominant versus recessive. Now we all know that dominant means that this thing is usually the most dominant element. It means that it takes over everything, that nothing could really take it over. And recessive means quite the opposite. But let's keep on going about these brothers Corey Good and Mr. Wilcock again. Yeah, they give their synopsis about this stuff in a very eloquent manner, except they start out with a known ploy. They crack a joke, they make things seem like it's kind of funny, and then they get in your personal space, meaning your mind space, and then they tell you whatever they want to tell you. And they'll slowly but surely drop a little bit of information that's a little contrary to what they say. But come on, man. I mean, to what they're saying, but come on. You mean to tell me that even ufologists are actually racist? You mean to tell me that they're not racist, but they don't want to disclose the fact that they are black, non-human beings, black extraterrestrials? And then he talk about the power of prayer, but he don't talk about the power of God. Where do you think that power comes from? Okay, listen, again, they need to stop lying about that disclosure project. They fool nobody. If you look in the Bible in Isaiah chapter 13, it says, God says, I call my mighty ones, I call my sanctified ones, and even them that rejoice in my highness, for they come from a far country at the end of heaven. Wow, does God describe these people? Yes, he does. And at the end of that chapter, or at the end of the water he was talking about, he says, after all that's done, he's going to make a man more precious than fine gold. Now, make doesn't mean create. All right? You could say create and mean make, but you can't say make and mean create. Okay, so when he says he's going to make, that means he's going to bring forth change. He's going to add or subtract. Now, in the comparison of the word or the verbiage, he says, I shall make a man more precious than fine gold. Therefore, you got to look at that in opposition. Which man on this planet Earth is not worth close to fine gold according to the powers that be? Starcrest is dropping it. Starcrest is dropping it. Which man on the planet Earth is not worth more than fine gold? Or close to it? Yeah, you got it right, folks. It's our people. Because the people that's in power right now, they feel like they're entitled. They act like they running the world. They posture as if everyone owes them something. But you know what? So I guess they're the ones that's worth fine gold. But at the end of that war, it states how they're going to be eliminated. It goes further to state inside that same passage that every man's heart shall faint, and every man's hand shall melt, and pains and sorrows shall take hold of them as a woman that traveleth. It also goes on to state that their face is going to be as flames. Come on, people. Whose face is going to be as flames? Does it mean that their face is going to burn up? Does it mean their face is going to actually have fire on it? They're going to be mad? Or does it mean their face simply going to turn red? Now, who do you know face turns red? And then it says that every one of them shall be thrust through with the sword, and their baby shall be dashed to pieces in front of their eyes. That means not one of them is supposed to survive this particular wrath from the Almighty. Okay, keep playing your games. Starcrrest The G is not mad with you. Just dropping a little information on you to let you know every eye that sleep is not closed. Again, before I sign off, I gotta give a special shout out to my little superstar. She know who she is. She know who she is. Matter of fact, she's related to my man Ninja D. Alright, so we're gonna say it in closing. Starcrrest The G says, peace and love. Peace and love, folks.